Let me unmute that mic. Hey, ladies, y'all look so beautiful. How
are you?
Welcome to the Women's Wellness Lounge. This is the final week of our She Is Well series, and I'm so excited for the ladies that we have on standby who is ready to come on and share their story. But first, y'all know I have to take care of some housekeeping business, and that is the pinky promise. So I told you in week 1, when we had our special guest, Latalia, sharing her story, that for the week 4, that we would do something very special, and that is the pinky promise. So when the Women's Wellness Lounge was out in the community and we would meet every month, this is something that we would do live. And basically it would be 2 women putting their pinkies together and tying a ribbon around their pinkies, promising to hold each other accountable to do breast self-exams every month. So ladies, I want you to tag your girlfriend and do a pinky promise and push, put in the chat, #pinky promise. And that will solidify that you guys will be pretty much attached at the breasts, if you will. I always say that you should know your breasts in a lineup. That is how intimate we should be with our breasts. Don't just, kind of wash them and put them in a bra every day. You really need to know what they look like, what they feel like, and of course, what they smell like. Yes, that is one of the signs of breast cancer, is that there can be an odor. So I told you in week 1, you should look, smell, and then feel. So that is part of the breast self-exam. So I want to make sure that you all understand and know that pinky promise is something that we do in October, and it goes from October to the following October. So for 12 whole months, whoever you do that pinky swear with, and you guys can tie a virtual ribbon around your pinky, I want you to be accountable that you will do your breast self-exams every month, okay? And ladies, it should be done at the same time every month. If you're still menstruating, it should be done during your menstrual cycle. If you're no longer have your menses, then it should be done at the same time every month, okay? And so you are looking, smelling, and then feeling, palpating for any abnormalities, any lumps, and noting any pain, and then immediately just seek medical attention from your healthcare practitioner if you notice that there's something different, okay? Because every month over month, and even in between your breast self-exams, you should be definitely looking at your breast, noticing any difference, okay? All right, so now that we got the ta-ta conversation out the way, So I want you guys to make sure that you tag your friend, share this post, and let them know that they are going to be on your team for the Pinky Promise, right? So comment, share, tag a friend for the She Is Well series, because that's what we are doing today, is talking about breast health, breast cancer awareness, and then we also are going to be talking about trauma and domestic violence during the month of October. Typically, breast cancer awareness was always my focus 80% of the time during the month of October. 20% of the time it was briefly talking about domestic violence and trauma. However, since the pandemic, there's been a lot of increase in both trauma as well as domestic violence cases as a result of what we're going through. I don't want to quote the percentage because I heard it earlier this week and I did not write it down and I don't remember, but I believe it was in the neighborhood of 30 to 40% that there's been an increase since March, since the pandemic and kind of, the lockdown sort of in some ways began. And so I felt the need, both because I'm a healthcare provider, that there should be some more light shined on that so that those individuals that may be, in that situation will know what needs to be done. So tonight we're going to hear from two special guests that will not only share their story, but will also, at the end of today's She Is Well series, will also give us some resources and things that they're doing in their community. So I now can welcome to the She Is Well virtual wellness lounge series my two special guests. First, at the top of the screen is Melissa P. Latson, and Melissa is the founder of Motivating Elegant Ladies, or MEL, Male Development. And it's a nonprofit, and she's going to definitely tell us a little bit more about that later. She's one of our special guests that's going to share her story, and her story is unique. I don't want to steal the thunder from her sharing that story, but that is the reason why she was added to today's panel. The second guest is Dr. Rica Wilson. She is the founder of Brown Girl Wellness, which is also a nonprofit organization that I absolutely love. And she's going to share her story as well. Both of these ladies have a unique story, and I want you to hear that. And then in the end, as this series is ending, and then with the end of today's show, we're going to share some resources, because the She Is Well series talks about she is power, she is strong, and she is well. So we can go through, whatever, but come through on the other side and be strong, have power, and be well. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my first guest, which is Melissa P. Latson. Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Delana. What's going on?
Not a lie. You ladies look so beautiful.
You as well, girl. You're really wearing that pink.
I appreciate you. All right, Melissa. I've made them wait long enough. I want you to go ahead and dive right into your story and your situation.
All right. So first of all, I thank God. First of all, got to give it up to my Lord and Savior. Thank you so much, Delana, for having me on your platform. When I tell you, I think I told you earlier before we got started, I can't wait to see you look downtown New York. I mean, Hollywood, having your own talk show and having celebrities on there. I mean, it's just going to be so phenomenal, Delana, and just so appreciative of you and what you're doing, so I definitely want to say that first. But yeah, so of course, my situation with my domestic violence is kind of unique. It definitely happens, and it happened at my workplace. And this is something that a lot of people don't really talk about, because I was silenced at first. I didn't want to talk about my situation, just growing up, and what goes on in your household basically much stays in your household. That's what I was taught, growing up, but that quickly had to change. If that didn't change, I wouldn't be here now telling my stories to try to help someone else to tell their story. So my situation, like I said, happened at the workplace, my domestic violence situation, and I was actually kidnapped at my job. So I was kidnapped at my job and taken to an abandoned place. When I tell you for a moment, I used to watch a lot of Lifetime stories back then. I really thought this was actually me being on the Lifetime story. I would never thought in a million years that this would be my life and everything that I was going through. I just never would have thought it would have been me. So my abuser came to my job, know my step, knew my routine every day. I was trying to get away. I had to leave my own home to get away from my abuser, me and my kids, me and my 3 kids at the time. I'm a single mom at the time, so I had to leave the comfort of my own home to go from house to house in order to try to escape my abuser. So the one place he knew I had to go was work. I mean, I had to keep the money flowing. I'm a single parent. I had 3 kids. Bills got to get paid. We got to eat. Got to have a roof over our head. So the one place he knew that he could get me, which he did, was my workplace. And leading up to that, the issue that, when you get abused from your workplace, it causes you to be absent from work sometimes. It causes you to be tardy from work. You don't perform well at work, because you have a lot going through your mind. You are, you're being abused, and it's kind of hard to talk to your coworkers about what you're going through, because it's like sometimes you don't want to mix, your personal life with your work life, because that's where you work at. You have to go there every day. People start looking at you funny, once they know your situation. I mean, they should be trying to, seek help or try to get some help for you. But sometimes people look at you kind of funny when you tell them your situation. So I was really quiet for many years with my situation at the workplace. So he kidnapped me one morning. It was like 3 days after Christmas. Of course, I was going to work and I saw this white truck pull up. So I'm on my phone. I'm on my cell phone talking. So I saw a truck pull up, and so I'm waving to the truck to go by, so I can cross the street into the side door of my job. And the truck just stopped. So I'm still on my cell phone, and before I knew it, someone jumped out the back of the white truck and just grabbed me. And he said, "If you scream, I will blow your head off." So I'm still on the phone as this is taking place. Okay, so by that time, I'm thinking he had a gun. It was my abuser. I'm thinking he had a gun. So I'm listening to everything that he said, and I took a deep breath when he said that. So I'm on the phone talking to a detective. So the detective that I was talking to, he knew my situation that I was going through. He sensed when I took the deep breath that something was wrong, but I couldn't say anything because when my abuser jumped out, he said he had a gun, and if I screamed, he would blow my head off, right? So I'm keeping it cool, trying to do whatever he asked me to do. So he took me back to my car, and then he realized I was on the phone. But by that time, we got in the car and we head towards DC to my apartment. So, but by that time, the detective I was talking to on the phone had already dispatched APB out on me with he knew the type of car I had, my tag number and everything, so we wind up at my apartment, and he parked in another parking lot. He didn't want to park in front of my apartment because he kind of knew that somebody would be looking for me, which definitely was true. So we cut through the path to go to my apartment, and I seen the police ride by, cruising by. It was like 4 of them deep in the car, riding by. Okay, so they didn't say nothing. We made eye contact, went to my apartment, came back out my apartment, got into my car, and as soon as we was coming out the parking lot, the detectives in the car, they blocked us. They blocked and looked, and they kept going. So therefore, my abuser knew that they know what he had did, that he had kidnapped me from my job. So we left. I didn't know where it was going. We left, and we was on a high-speed chase in DC. Now, when I tell you, that's when my life flashed in front of me at that moment. It's like a movie. So we end up at an apartment. I don't know whose apartment. I kept going to the window. I seen the snipers in the trees. This is like a movie. I never saw this. Snipers, camouflage, but I saw them moving. I started hearing helicopters on top of the apartment where it was at. I guess they was trying to figure out exactly which apartment. It was like a high-rise apartment. I guess they was trying to figure out trying to narrow down which apartment we were in. And I happened to turn the TV on. Once I turn the TV on, it's like, as soon as I turn the TV on, the newscast, they were interviewing someone at my workplace, someone that lived nearby, updating them of what had just took place at my job. So I was like, this cannot be real. I mean, I'm looking at TV and they're actually talking about me. And I thank God that I'm still alive to see them talk about me. It could have been,
absolutely.
I couldn't have been there. I mean, I actually saw them interviewing someone in the area, letting them know what had just took place at my job. So the whole time I was in the apartment, I'm trying to calm him down because he was upset because I had took me and the kids, like I said, we had left prior because I couldn't stay at my own home because he used to come in my apartment anytime, climbing the trees, busting my windows out,
Wow.
I'm running down my neighbor's house and they didn't want to get involved. They couldn't save me all the time,
Right.
So I had to leave my own home, so I had to took my kids out of school because he knew what school they was going to. So the whole time I was in there, I'm trying to calm him down. He's saying he loved me. He wanted his family back, all kind of stuff he was saying. And one thing I did, I haven't even told too many people this, but one thing I did in that apartment, it's like I had to do it, to calm him down. Because at this time, I'm still thinking he had a gun. What he told me when he first came to my job. I had to talk so nice to him. I even had to have sex with him. Just to try to trick his mind and calm him down. And I felt like I was being raped,
Right. Absolutely. That was a mode of survival. Do you feel like that was a mode of survival? Because I've heard that before, that sometimes when you try to make that human connection, especially in a situation that you were in where you were there against your will, that oftentimes trying to make that human connection, which is what it sounded like you did, pretty much is a mode of survival through that situation.
It was because, like I said, I don't know what state of mind he was in, especially when I turned the news on. I seen heard the helicopters, seen the snipers and the trees, like what, all this for me? What, I mean,
right.
What's really going on? I don't know what kind of state of mind he was in because it was an ongoing, abusive relationship with him, and sometimes I called the police and sometimes I didn't. But the last time I did, and that was the reason why I was able to stay in contact with the detective that was on the phone with me. He was like concerned about my whereabouts at the time. I'm really glad he was on the phone.
Yeah.
So he did what he had to do because he didn't know what state of mind my abuser was in.
Correct.
Yeah. So I'm definitely glad that he was there, to alert everybody and I'll narrow down where I was at,
Right.
So, but yeah, and if he was acting so strange in the apartment the whole time, and so I guess he was tired. We had been in there for like a couple of hours. I didn't know what he was gonna do. Like I said, I'm still thinking he had a gun. So he put his coat on, and he told me to put my coat on. So I'm looking at him the whole time. It was like in slow motion. He told me to go to the door. And I was afraid to go. So I'm thinking he was going to shoot me and then kill himself.
Right. Okay.
Because of his, the way he was acting. He was like this in slow motion. It's like, gosh, he really about to give it. He's really about to let me go. And I failed to mention that the time when I was in the apartment, the detective had called me again and had me on the phone. And that's how they found out exactly what apartment I was in.
Because they were able to track your phone.
They were able to track my phone.
Very smart.
Yeah. Yeah. So he opened the door. Like I said, he told me to walk out the door. And I'm walking towards the door, looking back at him the whole time. you know, because like I said, I never saw a gun, but I'm just going by what he said when he came to my job and what he said to me about the gun.
Mhm.
That I'm looking and walking because, like I said, I thought he was going to shoot me in the back of my head and then kill himself. You know, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. That was my mindset. So I got to the door. I opened the door. All I know, it was like the squat mans with the shield, the plastic squat men. One pulled me, and one grabbed him, just threw him down, and tuck him in. You know, it's like it was over. You know, I kept saying in front, I want to see my kids. I want to talk to my kids. You know, I was thinking about my kids the whole time I was in there. I just didn't know what state of mind he was in. So, but
that situation ended on positive, and that you had the wherewithal to really think about how to survive and to think quick in that situation. And like you said, part of it was that you knew him, you know, knew your abuser, and trying to identify his behaviors and then what to do to survive. Not knowing whether or not he actually had a gun, what was his intentions, because it does oftentimes end the way that you described, which is that he could have ended your life and then taken his own life. So I'm grateful, obviously, that that did not occur. And I know that you're going to share again. As I said, she is power, she is strong, she is well. So when we come back to you, Melissa, I want you to share about your organization and some resources as a result of what you went through.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now I want to introduce everyone to our second guest. And again, Melissa, thank you for sharing that. Again, as I said before, her situation was very unique and different because it was workplace. Again, we know that we have domestic violence situations, but in Melissa's case, she was actually kidnapped from her workplace, which oftentimes, like she said, your abuser may know your routine. And even if you try to move from home to home, you know, work is one of the stable things, unless you're going to go from job to job, right? At the same time that you. So again, he was very calculated in what he set out to do. So again, thank you, Melissa. Now I want to introduce you guys to our second guest, which is Dr. Rica Wilson. She is with Brown Girl Wellness. Hey, Rica, how are you?
Hi, ladies. How are you? Thank you all so much.
Hey.
And thank you for having me. Thank you. Such an honor. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Now, I want you to, again, just briefly take us through your situation as well. You know, I'm familiar with it, but just give us the overview of your situation.
Absolutely. And what I really want to focus on is trauma, because when we think of trauma, we categorize what trauma looks like. And, you know, it should go in this particular category or that particular category. And I really want to focus on how men and women, but particularly women, as we are focused on she as well, how you can use your trauma and turn it into triumph if you don't allow your trials to trample you. So to put that in perspective, 23 years ago, when I graduated from an HBCU as an honor graduate, on my way to law school, thinking I have myself together, I don't know why I thought I was immune to trauma. And I want to just share different types of trauma quickly that I went through, because what I want to, my mom often says, don't focus on the rain, focus on the rainbow. So I want to give women hope tonight to focus on the rainbow. So I never imagined that I would go through the types of trauma that I only saw in a Lifetime movie on Oprah, or that I read about in a magazine. Again, I don't know why I thought I would be immune to some of those things, but I'm so glad about it, because that pain pushed me into my purpose, and Brown Girl Wellness was born. And so with the services that we offer women, for an example, one of the main services that's at the helm of Brown Girl, we never, women that lose children really don't talk about it because it's trauma. And people really don't tell you that it's trauma. And in the South, for an example, I grew up in the South, you know, it's a lot of hush hush. You don't have to tell that. You have to tell all your business. But where is the format? Where is the place where women can really get together and talk about trauma? And so one of the traumatic experiences that birthed Brown Girl, I lost 2 babies. And one of them, of which I remember standing in the hospital and watching the blood mix with the fetal tissue and waiting for the doctor to say, yeah, there's a heartbeat. And it never happened. And I'm a happy person. I have never experienced the type of depression that I experienced during that traumatic time. And when I tell you, I felt like somebody needed to give me a sedative because I was so depressed. I was so alone. At the time, I was working 3 jobs. Often we as women, particularly African-American women, feel like we need to be superwoman. That is a lie. We do not need to try to be everything to everybody. So on one hand, I had lost this baby. The next day I went back to work like nothing had happened. Because again, in our communities, we are taught that we just pick up and keep it going. So maternal care and wellness is at the helm of Brown Girl Wellness. And so I thought about that experience and some of the other experiences that I went through. And I said, I want to create a place where women can have hope. And this was before a doctor, for whatever reason, something went wrong in the operating room, and he left me in a position where my mobility was compromised. And I had a choice. I could do one of 2 things. I could stay in the valley, or I could speak to the dry bones. And I decided to breathe on the dry bones because I wasn't going to give up in that desolate place, and that is trauma. One day I'm an assistant professor in my office with a salary, with retirement, making money, trying to provide for my children. And the next day it all goes away. And so what happens when we need to rebuild? So not only is that happening, other traumatic things are happening. I'm in an unhealthy situation, and I have to make up my mind that I am going to remember my value, my self-worth, and take care of myself. Things that are really hard when you're going through traumatic situations because you're just trying to survive. But at Brown Girl Wellness, we want women to know that there is a journey from surviving to thriving. And especially if you have a trauma profile. If you have dealt with trauma as a child, when you meet some of these traumatic experiences as an adult, you have a different kind of tolerance. So we really want to teach women from experience. I'm not talking about anything I read in a book. I'm talking about what I have lived. I'm talking about what I have tried. I'm talking about what has worked for me. How we can transfer the energy of feeling so depleted and depressed and say, now, how am I going to take this painful situation that I'm going through and birth my purpose? There are women that I need to touch with my story. There are women that I need to touch and share the resources that I have. How do we transition? So that's the root of what Brown Girl is all about. We are asking women to remember where their purpose and their hope is. So what I try not to do is focus on the negative, but remember the positive, to practice forgiveness. I could spend 500 hours plus talking about things that have happened in my life that are negative and excuse me, how I feel about it. And you know, to be quite honest, I've been very angry about a lot of things, but I had to make up in my mind, I'm going to let it go. And there is power in forgiveness, even when it didn't align in my heart. Every day I got up and said, you know what? I forgive so-and-so. I forgive so-and-so. Mm-hmm. I wasn't feeling it in my heart, but I had to let my words align with my heart. And by the time so-and-so called to say, I'm sorry for what I did, I could say, you know what? I forgive you. So that's what we need. That's what I encourage women to do. Focus on forgiveness. Focus on your power. Focus on your purpose. Why did you go through that situation? You didn't go through that situation to sit in the corner and keep crying. So for those women who might be in a situation and they're trying to get out, I would encourage them to contact us, tap into your purpose. If you need a plan, again, I'm not sharing anything that I've read in a book. I'm sharing just real life tips of what I have used to get myself from in my closet crying every day for 6 months. Like, why is this happening to me? Wait a minute, I'm fabulous. What's really going on? and to say, wait a minute, girl, wipe the dust off your face, get it together, take your limited mobility self and get yourself together. I don't care about your coins. Your job is gone, girl. That's gone. Bye, job, bye. What you gonna do now? What's in your toolbox? What can you use to rebuild your life? Because you have 3 little boys looking at you. What you gonna do? Are you going to just give up? Are you gonna keep trying? So that's what I have learned to do with my trauma, Delana. I have learned to turn my trauma into triumph. Because I know what kind of God I serve, and I know what's in his word, and I know God is not a liar. I live my life on Jeremiah 29:11. It reads, I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans for a hope in the future. My hope is not in crying. My hope is in the victory, saying that I don't care if there's nothing here. I don't care if the traumas come. I know what's coming after that, because in the word, God says that I'm enough. In the word, God says that I have hope in the future. In the word, God says that he's looking out for me. And so when women come in contact with Brown Girl Wellness, they're coming in contact with hope. They're coming in contact with God, and they're going to leave better than when they came in contact with us, because they can use their pain to turn it into their purpose and walk out with a testimony.
Amen. I love it. I love it. Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Rica. That was exactly what we were looking for, as it relates to going through like Melissa's situation with the domestic violence, and then speaking to trauma and understanding that there is, like you said, triumph on the other side of that trauma as well. And I just love what you said about speaking to the dry bones. It is exactly what we allow ourselves to experience, and it's what we do with that experience that will help to push us through to the next level. So let's see. Bernie says, amen. I mean, you really touched and allowed us to go to the next part, which is going to be the resources. And so C.W. McClendon said, you better say so, Dr. Rica, with Brown Girl Wellness. So you both have just shared such powerful stories. And that was what I really wanted to end the She Is Well series on, about just understanding that regardless of what we go through, we are powerful, we have strength, and then there's an other side of us being well. And so that's what this whole series really was about, the She Is Well virtual lounge. And I want you all to understand that what you share definitely will touch somebody. Sharing your story, Melissa, I was reading in the comments and everybody was like, did you get out? What happened? Did the snipers get them? So at the end of your story, they now know, definitely came out on the other side, that the snipers, that they grabbed you and then was able to take him into custody. And so you're here today, your organization, I'm going to put it back up, Motivating Elegant Ladies, and your website, Melissa P. Latson. So tell us what Motivating Elegant Ladies is about. And I know that you have a class as well, so the confidence class. So tell us a little bit about that and those resources.
Yes, so Motivate Elegant Ladies is catered to young ladies. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I'm just popped up on my screen. Okay.
Yeah,
so Motivate Elegant Ladies is catered to young ladies and women. It definitely is regarding healthy relationships. That's one of our main programs, healthy relationships. Healthy relationships, trying to distinguish them from toxic relationships. Exactly. Sometimes you got to know the signs, the red flags, and that's what the program is helpful for. So we partner with the Department of Family Services and Prince George County.
Okay.
And this, another program is called Safe Dates. So we got certified in that. So what we do is we go around and we teach the young ladies the classes. It's different courses. Like I say, distinguishing healthy relationships from toxic relationships, knowing the signs, knowing what to do when you're in a situation, and different resources that you can reach out to, and just, stand up and speak up and say something, because silence is violence. You know,
I love that.
anything is violence. It's just like your violence if you don't say anything. You know, so what you say and what you go through can help someone else with their situation. And I had to realize that when I first shared my story. I kept it in for so long, not knowing that, you know, I can help the next lady.
Absolutely.
You know, share their story and get the resources and the help that they need to fix their situation.
Absolutely. And you said something, well, even with your program, the healthy relationship piece, I think is very, very important. I think understanding what that looks like, because if you don't have healthy relationships around you, or if you don't know what the definition of a healthy relationship should be or what it looks like, especially now, I think that our young girls, this generation, between reality TV and just the experiences of social media, and even some of the company that they may keep. So they have all of this competing for what they should see what a healthy relationship is. And especially when they don't have an example of that in their own home. So understanding what's needed is definitely key. So being able to, you know, and Essence said definitely needed. Yeah, understanding what a healthy relationship is. You know, I think right now with reality TV, we see a lot of bickering and fighting and doing all these different things. That's not a definition, but we're allowing the television to tell our vision. We're allowing it to expose, like you said, those toxic relationships, you know, to our children. And to the younger ladies and some older women as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Right. That's right.
Some older women as well.
Some of them can tune into it and they be in it before they know it. You know, they wonder what happened. You know,
exactly. And
so
we begin to that
first of all. You know, you got to stay strong. You know, the strong actions of a woman is to love herself.
Oh,
you know? Yeah. You have to love yourself first.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah,
I know that was something that Rica talked about as well, something that, you know, you will experience as part of Brown Girl Wellness. So if you wouldn't mind just sharing that, I'm going to put your website back up as well. So Rica, tell us a little bit more. You did an excellent job kind of condensing it. So just tell us about Brown Girl Wellness, how they actually get the information. Is it classes? Is it, you know, programs? How do you get the resources and get connected with Brown Girl Wellness?
Oh, thank you so much for the opportunity. So we do have a Facebook page, and at the moment we have a few programs that that we're working on. The one that we did today on Wednesdays and Fridays, we have a cross-cultural learning academy in Ghana with in partnership with the Jiri Preparatory School in Ghana, Farmanelle of Be More Green, and City Weeds. And we work together in order to offer cross-cultural virtual learning live. So students in Africa are learning about students in America, and students in America are learning about students in Ghana. And it's just a beautiful experience for the young people. So we're working hard to get the resources that they need now, because what we're trying to do is bridge the cultural and digital divide. So that's one of our initiatives with our virtual school. Delana, you're my partner with Healthy You. You know, we have a retreat space, virtual retreat space for women, where women can come and focus on self-care and and becoming better at taking care of themselves. I know as a mom, sometimes I just forget about taking care of myself. So we have Virtual You, that Healthy You, that's a virtual retreat space for women, in addition to our garden outreach programs to try to address food insecurity in rural and urban communities. So anyone who wants to help us with that, if you can reach out, that would be great, because what we do is try to provide organic food, garden boxes, anything where women can grow, where we are empowering them to grow their own food. We have that. And lastly, I'm really excited about our new initiative, Brown Girl Dream Village, where we are reimagining Sears and Reba homes that you could be able to buy from a catalog. And we are raising money to purchase land. So I share with you, Delane, I'm so excited. We're going to purchase land, and we are building homes for women. We're going to have a wellness house where women are able to go get self-care, have the gardens, the outdoor retreat space. And this is a place where single moms They don't have to go to a shelter. We need to revise that system is in place. It works for the time being, but we want to give women keys to home ownership where they can walk into a house and say, I am the homeowner here, and I'm in a position to build generational wealth for my family. So that's what we're working with Dream Village. And as you can see my shirt with our business center.
I'm going to put your shirt live. There you go.
You see, I'm trying not to show my babies here, my goodies that I acquired after having some babies. But anyway, Platinum Peas, this is important. This is really important because I showcase my natural health and wellness products when women are, before COVID, of course, when they would come to our workshops, and I would be in the kitchen making all types, whatever, hair to herbs to cook with. And so I tried to get samples of those. So that's what Latson Peas is, my online store where you can go and get those herbs that you're looking for to put in different things from cooking to your hair. And I'm very proud of that because it's what got me through some tough times, being able to make me some herbal tea because I don't drink and but thank you, Jesus. Those herbs brought me through, girl. So Latson Peas, one of the things that we're going to be able to do. And also clothing, to be able to provide organic clothing that will not irritate the skin of people like me who has sensitivities, particularly after having some nerve damage from the operation. I just can't wear anything. So there are a lot of people with autism and other sensitivities, they too just can't wear anything. So that's very important to me to be able to offer that. So we're excited about offering those services, and we've given about 10 business grants to women so far for them to start their own business. So we're focused on action. So we're just not going to talk about it. We're going to be about it. We're not about all the red tape. You come in and you got to tell me your social security number and your great granddaddy's birthday so you can get $2. We don't do that. We're cutting through the red tape. If you need a can of soup, you can get a can of soup without having to leave your pinky toe on the table.
And Dr. Rica, that's really a blessing. What you're doing too, because as when you go through domestic violence, like what I went through, you can, fall into obesity, because of the stress would cause you to be overweight and not healthy. And what you're doing with the food, organic food, that's definitely a plus, for anybody, not just, just for domestic violence people, just anybody that you're doing. It's definitely a blessing for that. And getting their hair done and clothed, because that brings their confidence
Girl,
up.
you got to get your edges right, okay? Because when your edges gone, your life ain't right. Your life ain't right when you're looking for your edges, okay? So your life ain't right. Where my edges? Exactly. Somebody looking for your edges in Alabama.
I love the Latson Peas initiative. I love everything that Brown Girl Wellness is doing. That. Again, even having to do some things within this virtual space, you still have managed to, like with your Ghana project, to reach out. So definitely, ladies, connect with Brown Girl Wellness. She shared, I'm going to put the website back up just really quickly. It's bgwellness.org. So make sure that you all connect with her. She's doing some excellent work. Rica, thank you so much for sharing your tips, not only the trauma, but then the tips with it to help us to become empowered. Melissa, of course, thank you too as well for sharing your story and knowing that on the other end, there is an opportunity for women to be motivated, especially young women, to understand what healthy relationships are like. And avoiding toxic relationships, and then what to do if they do find themselves in an unhealthy or toxic relationship. So I want to pivot really quickly. Thank you, Q. She said that she loves this, gave us the heart and prayer sign. So I just want to pivot really quickly and talk about, and I know that you guys know this as well. So let me take this comment off. of the screen so that you can see what it is that I want to share. So both of these ladies shared stories of trauma, domestic violence, and I am the visionary author of a book that will launch in March of 2021. The She Is Well Tribe initially launched in May during Women's Health Week. And since then, it's been sort of like this grassroots initiative to really get women to understand and be more in tune with their wellness and to get on a path of sustainability as it relates to their health and wellness. So if you have a story of overcoming, whether it's trauma, illness, grief, loss, depression, weight loss, whatever your story is, I want you to go to sheiswellbooks.com and decide that you want to get more information about becoming a co-author. I'm only going to select women who have a story, but also can demonstrate that she is power, she is strong, and she is well at the end of that story, because we want to give women hope and encouragement and empower them. You will become part of my tribe. So together, collectively, just like these ladies here, collectively, we are stronger together. And this won't just be about a book. This is going to be on several different platforms and on different levels. I don't want this just to be a book where, the ladies can kind of read through in the pages. They will become part of a tribe. This message will be seen on television. It will be on radio. We will do, when the world opens back up, live events, virtual things until then. But this message needs to continue. The whole She Is Well project, that whole message really is something that is, anything that I do, I'm going to do it 110%. So it has just kind of was a grassroots effort, but it just really kind of got legs and grew into something that for me was an opportunity for me to stand on and to continue to kind of yell from the rooftops, if you will, on the mountaintop, that we deserve more. We deserve to do better. And so, again, if you have a story, I want to hear your story. I want you part of the She Is Well Books project as well. So again, go to sheiswellbooks.com to get more information. And there's an opportunity in there also for you to leave your email. And then I will send you a link for our Zoom call that we will do. And it will basically break down, again, all of the perks and everything that will become yours if you decide to join this project. So both of you ladies, I am pretty much, sold on you guys becoming an author with the book. I love your story as well. I would love for you to be a part of the project. And if not, you're still part of the She Is Well tribe. You're part of my family. Yes. To get this message out, because again, women need to hear what it is that you shared and the resources that you possess as well. So it is now gift giving time. So Dr. Wilson talked about, or Rica, I always call her Dr. Wilson, to be formal, but she talked about doing a couple of different projects. So she has Healthy You, and it's giving away registration for that. So let me think of a good question that we can ask that somebody can win. Let's see. Where did she say that she's currently working in a virtual space so that there's cross-cultural experiences taking place? What country is she currently working with to expose a cross-cultural experience? Who can say that first in the comments? And I'm looking, what country is Brown Girls partnering with to bring about a cross-cultural experience? So if you guys can put that in the comment, if you remember, I will send you the link for the Healthy You registration. And then Melissa, you have a confidence class coming up.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Okay. So close, Nicole. She said Africa.
Can I play?
No, you can't play. Come on, somebody else. Who else? Oh, Melissa got it. Melissa Gordon. She's on Facebook. She got it. It is Ghana. So Melissa, I will send you the registration link. And if it's something that you can take advantage of, if not, you please share it with someone else. Oh, she got it too. Miss McClendon, but you a little bit too late. Melissa, but it was Donna. And then Aisha got it too. It was Aisha. Oh, and Rochelle. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I just saw her. So it was between Rochelle and Melissa. Don't worry, I'll send you both something because I'm looking on Facebook. It's like a little bit of a delay on Facebook, so I was trying to get it. All right.
And
so
from always, excuse me, if you sorry, I'm Delana. If you don't mind, I can always send extra link. I can always send an extra link.
Okay, yeah, because I think the two of them got it at the same time. So I'll give it to them so that they can register. So maybe we can. Oh, she said she was giving someone else a chance. Look at you. I love it. So if depending on the number that registrations that Rica gives to me, everyone that answered correctly, I'll send the link to you as winners. So I love that. I love when people participate. Okay, Melissa, your class, is it too late for them to register? Can we do like a giveaway to the confidence?
Yes, and also I want to put in there too is in progress, vision board book. I haven't even mentioned this yet, but this is something I'm working on in the background.
Good.
Vision board parties, big poster, but you're gonna be able to take your visions with you in your pocket.
Right. Gotcha.
Oh yeah, that's coming too. But yeah, definitely. My classes are coming up, so I haven't pinpointed a date just yet in December.
Okay.
So, but I would definitely love for them to come on and look. You can wear their confidence well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. So I'm going to put your website back up as well so that they have that. And that is melissaPlatson.com, Motivating Elegant Ladies. Ladies, this has been a wonderful session. And I was really praying that the She Is Well series ended on this note, and it has met and exceeded my expectations. And I'm just looking at some of the comments, and I really feel like just from the comments that we are getting live from this, and I'm sure that there will be more from the replay as it usually is, and as it relates to not only you sharing your stories, but the resources as well. So again, for our observance, we started out the top of the show talking about Pinky Promise. So I'm going to end on that note as well. Ladies, make sure that you tag your girlfriend, share this video replay with them, and then identify who is going to be. You guys can do a pinky promise. If we were together, I would have you do the actual pinky promise, and then we tie a pink ribbon around it, and you guys both make the promise that you will hold each other accountable for doing breast self-exams and making sure that you are intimate with your breasts and that you're doing the look, smell, and feel for your breasts every month. Okay, so that is it for me. Again, I want to thank you both for joining me tonight and being my special guest on the show. I truly appreciate it. I knew that we were going to go until close to 9 o'clock tonight because of not only your story, but just because it was two of us. So thank you to all of my live guests that stayed on and participated both here in the Women's Wellness Lounge, as well as on my personal page on Facebook. I shouted you guys out earlier: Latalia, Rochelle, Aisha, Melissa. Who else did we have that was joining us? All of you guys, I appreciated you. Ashley, she joined on a little earlier. Darlacia, all of you. So whoever else, if I forgot your name, and there was some. Let's see, it was Essence, Miss McClendon, Q Church. And she said, thank God for strong women. Yes. Amen. And we're going to end on that note. So again, thank you all. Go back and make sure that you are following the Women's Wellness Lounge. Go to sheiswellbooks.com if you have a story and you want to be part of our project. So ladies, thank you. Any last final words as I'm about to wrap up?
I just want to remind women. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Melissa.
Go ahead. No, you started. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to remind women to turn their pain into their purpose.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for that, Melissa.
And just remember, the strong actions of a woman is to love yourself.
Amen.
You have to love yourself first.
I love that. I love that. And I thank you both. You have shared such great information. So I knew you would have some PowerPoints at the end. So thank you. All right. Good night. Until next time.
Good night. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good night, ladies. Thank you.
All right. Talk to y'all soon.
Okay, thank you. So tonight's episode was brought to you by Smile Therapy, which is Glitter Me This Co. And I'm going to share a special video from her.